It's all good, good. No, it's all love. No, it's all love.
Hey guys, welcome back to Modern Polygyny Podcast, the only podcast where 1 + 2 = 1. I'm Ray.
I'm Prince.
And on this podcast, we will be discussing polygyny and relationships in general. We encourage, uplift, and support people who are involved in the polygamous lifestyle and people who have a genuine curiosity. Other topics that we will be discussing is family and wealth building. And on today's episode, we will be discussing how one of us lost a friend due to polygyny.
It was me. All right. So a little bit about today's podcast. I did a short on YouTube a few weeks ago, and it was titled "Polygyny Caused Me to Lose a Friend." And it's a true story. Long story short, I had a friend, his wife found out that me and my wife, we practice polygyny. And I don't know if it's new to her because most of our friends already knew about this for a while, for the past 4.5-5 years. I don't know what changed all of the sudden. Mm-hmm. Actually, I do know what changed all of the sudden. But yeah, it kind of like, to me, it just came out of nowhere. You know, I was a little blindsided by the situation, and basically he just hit me up and he's like, "Hey man, you know, like my wife, she doesn't think it's cool or appropriate that we're friends anymore." And, it sounded like, you know, almost like a breakup. It was a little weird, but you know, it is what it is. But, I talked to him once afterwards. You know, we're still, I guess, no longer friends, and you know, I'm cool with that. I could live with that. The situation is this, right? This is what I got from it. Mm-hmm. I know there was infidelity in his relationship. Mm-hmm. So, me and my wife, or him having a friend that practices polygyny, was like a pain point for her. I guess it kind of like struck a nerve. It was a trigger, and it made her feel very uncomfortable. It made her feel like, oh, well, I don't want this to be next or the next step. Mm-hmm. What do you think?
I think that there's so much that goes on into this situation. I want you to continue to explain it so I can give my full opinion on what I think is going on.
All right. Well, what I know is going on. This man has a history of infidelity in his relationship. Me and my wife, we've been together for 9 years plus. Him and his wife, I think they've been together for about 14 or 15 years.
Yeah, because they have a teenage son.
Yes. A little bit longer than us. And the thing is this, right? I knew this guy for a long time. I've seen him out there. I've seen his work. I've seen his body of work. And, you know, he's a cheater. So, you know, plain and simple. That has nothing to do with me. And I see this a lot in a lot of relationships where a man or a woman may feel that, oh, well, their friends are cheaters, so that means that they're cheaters.
Yeah.
Right? And yeah. I get it to a certain degree. But at the end of the day, as a man, you know, every man is his own person. Mm-hmm. I don't think there's no man that can make another man cheat. If that's what he's going to do, that's what he's going to do, regardless if there's another man there or not. And with that being said, I don't cheat on my wife. She would not be with me. And it sounds crazy because we practice polygyny, right? So it's like, oh, it's okay that he talks to other women, yada, 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 right? But we have boundaries within our situation that I respect. I would have to be a serious a-hole, not to respect those boundaries, lose my wife and my family in a good situation to where like it's allowable for me to, you know, speak to other women and right. to court other women mm-hmm. and have another wife. Mm-hmm. His situation is not like that.
Right.
And I've never tried to, I'm not that kind of person. Like, I don't push my lifestyle onto other people. I don't bash other people for their choices. It doesn't matter what their sexuality, religion, or race. I don't bash other people for anything because they're different or believe in something different than what I believe in. So, long story short, this man had a history of infidelity in his relationship, and I feel like that's plain and simple. That's it.
Right.
And I feel like it was a major trigger for her. She already, it was like, okay, if me and the other guys go out, he can't really go. And I don't know if it's a situation where she says that he can't go or he just knows that he has to deal with something when he comes home, so he chooses not to go. But it's like he never comes out.
Yeah. Hardly ever.
So that is their own. That has nothing to do with me or my lifestyle or my wives. That has nothing to do with anything. So what do you think now?
I think that it has a lot to do with the fact that he has been a cheater, and cheaters lose leverage. So if you cheat on your wife, or if you're a woman and you cheat on your husband, you lose leverage in other areas of your relationship. For instance, if somebody cheats, and this is just me, if somebody cheats on me, I can't trust you with anything now. I can't trust I can't trust that you're really at work. I can't trust that you're going to take care of our family. I can't trust anything that you got going on. So I think that that's part of it. I think that the idea that, you can influence him. I think if you have an adult male that can be influenced by another adult male, then you have more of a problem than this situation. Like, who wants a man that can be easily influenced by another male? I know I don't. I want my man to be able to be in any place amongst any people and be able to say, this is who I am and this is what I go by. And just because you guys are involved in that doesn't have anything to do with me. So that's the type of man I want. So not just in this situation, but in any situation. I think that's kind of like childlike. Like, okay, well, your friends are in high school, your friends are cheating. So usually they can influence you. But as an adult male, that's it's a little bit different. It doesn't usually go like that. So I think those are the two things. And I think that when a person has cheated, they lose leverage. And then the other partner feels like they have the authority to punish the one that cheated forever. And I think that that's what we're dealing with this couple. And I think that it's really sad. Like, I don't think a person that cheats should have no consequences, but I also don't think for the duration of their relationship should they have to be punished. Like, if you do something and you wind up in jail, you pay your debt to society, and usually that's it. Besides the fact that you can't vote, right? Because in today's society, you can still come out and get a job. You can come out and make your own job. You understand what I'm saying? So a lot of times you do your time, you pay your fines, and that's it, right? Like, it doesn't go on 20 years later. It doesn't go on 15 years later. It doesn't go on 10 years later. Like, once it's over for the most part. So I think it's the same way in that situation. Once it's over, not that it has to be over forever, but then you have to figure out how can you either build from this situation and do better, or you have to let it go. And a lot of people are scared to let it go because of the time that they've put in already. But if the relationship is trash, then the relationship is trash.
Right.
And that's my take on the situation.
And here goes a funny story, right, about the same person. One day, like I said, they had a history of this, right?
Right.
Like, he has a history of infidelity in his marriage. And so, you know, as men sometimes, growing up, we have covered for our friends. Yeah. And I thought we were done doing this. Like, I thought this was over with. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I thought everyone grew up, we grew out of it, and, you know, we're good now. Like, I would never throw any of my friends into my situation, because then that causes, it could cause a lot. Yeah. Right? And that's kind of what happened with me. And he called me one day. He's panicking. He's like, hey, look, man, I'm about to call you in like 2 minutes. You know, if my wife asks, you know, I was with you, just say, yeah, we were hanging out, whatever, right? So I'm like, you remember this? Uh-huh. So So I'm like, all right, cool, man, whatever, right? So my wife is laying right next to me, and we're sitting there laughing and
Shaking our
giggling, or whatever,
heads.
shaking our head like, oh, he done messed up again. So he calls back, and it never really went through because he calls and he's like, hey, man, look, he said, hey, I got Prince on the phone. He said he'll tell you. I was hanging out with him. I was with him all night. And she said, I don't want to talk to his lying ass anyway. Hang up the phone. I don't want to talk to his lying ass.
Right. So she already knew what it was.
So she already knew what it was.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like, that has nothing to do with me. I was at home laying down next to my wife watching our favorite TV program.
So it seems like she's more mad at you than she is her own man.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, he's the one that did the dirt, right?
And at the end of the day, like you said, now she has the leverage, right? So maybe she wants to just control situation in a way. So then she says,
She uses that as an excuse.
Yeah, she uses that as an excuse. Well, look, he practices polygyny. He's a bad influence. You don't need to be around him. He's wrong, and this and that. And hey, look, man. We hear all kind of things. Like, she's actually said, she said to Ray that that this was a few months ago. She said to Ray, she's like, oh, I don't know why you practice. She's really deep into the church. She's like, I don't know why you practice polygyny. It's a sin. You're going to hell. You're this and that, yada, 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 right? And it's like, first of all, we're not going to get into this whole religious thing because I have my own thoughts and beliefs about that. Mm-hmm. And just who's to say that everyone believes the same thing that you believe in? And if they don't believe the same thing that you believe in, then they're doomed and they're going to hell, right? Everyone doesn't believe in the same thing. So that's first.
Right.
Second, this is the lifestyle that we choose to live.
Right.
We're okay with, we have our own beliefs and we're okay. We're straight with that. Mm-hmm. And, I guess, she was just concerned about where we're going in the afterlife.
I don't even think it's really concern. I think people just want to be in your business. I think people just want to be in your business and they want to be able to tell you what to do and control you. But the fact is we do what we want to do because that's what we want to do. And nobody can tell us. Oh,
polygyny doesn't work. And show me where polygyny marriages work. And my thing is this. I didn't say this to her. Ray came to me and said that, they had this conversation. But my thing is this, right? A lot of people can't show you where monogamous marriages work.
Right.
Like the divorce is at an all-time high along monogamous people. And relationships are horrible. A lot of relationships are horrible. And at the end of the day, polygyny, monogamy, whatever you're practicing, polyamory, polyandry, whatever, right? At the end of the day, people are people. Like, there's bad people regardless. And you have to find the right person or persons that's right for you. And that's basically it.
And just for a further example, before I got married, I don't remember seeing one healthy marriage besides my grandparents. My one set of grandparents. The other grandparents were married, but they weren't a good example. I have aunts and uncles that were married that weren't a good example. My father was married. It wasn't a good example. So just because it doesn't work for one.
I haven't really seen too much of any healthy marriages.
Yeah, just because it doesn't work for you or it doesn't work for a family member of yours doesn't mean it works. It won't work for somebody else.
Right. And it's like everyone wants to bash polygyny. His wife, I don't think polygyny had anything to do with it. She just used that as an excuse.
I think so too.
Everyone wants to bash polygyny or polygamy, right? Mm-hmm. But it's like this, man. Everything's not for everybody.
Right.
Like, there's men and women that are not suitable for a monogamous marriage.
Right.
Right? Mm-hmm. I've had friends that are males tell me I was crazy for practicing polygamy.
I know some of your friends that thought you were crazy for marrying one person.
Yeah. Some of them thought I was crazy.
I remember.
Like, I said I'm getting married. They said, why?
Yeah, he said, why would you do such a thing? Like, why would you?
And he wasn't playing. He was being serious.
Oh no, he was dead serious. He was dead serious when he said that.
And it's like, it's like this, guys. Polygamy is no different than monogamy. The only difference is there's multiple people involved, right? Everyone's still, people can cheat in polygamy. Like, you know what I mean? There's cheaters everywhere. If someone's going to do something wrong, they're going to just do something wrong.
Right.
A lot of people are not suitable or not mentally stable enough. They haven't done work on themselves to be able to thrive in a, I guess what people would call a normal marriage.
Right.
Or a partnership period. Boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever. Right.
Yeah.
A lot of people are horrible at that. So it's like to bash someone because I'm good at a monogamous marriage and I can thrive in a polygamous marriage. You want to bash me.
Yeah.
But you're not happy in your relationship.
Yeah. They don't have any advice to give you for a good relationship.
Or check this out. You might be happy in your relationship, but the person you're in a relationship is not happy. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, because I'm thriving in what it is that I'm doing, you want to bash me.
Yep. Sounds about right.
It's crazy. So I'm not going to keep this too long. We're going to cut it a little short today. But yeah, that's pretty much what happened between this friend and I.
Yeah.
And, I hate that it happened. He was a cool dude. But the way I look at it is we weren't really hanging out too much like that anyway because he wasn't allowed to.
Right, he wasn't allowed to. He couldn't even come to like...
anything.
If like a friend invited him to say a boxing match with him and his wife, they would never show up. Or if somebody was having a baby shower, they would never show up. Or if somebody was having a cookout for Memorial Day, they would never show up. So it's not like we even got to see him or them on a regular basis anyway, because she couldn't control the situation. So if she can't control it, she don't want to be a part of it, I guess.
Right.
So.
And, that's that.
Right.
So to me, it's good riddance. And
right.
I'm going to end it there. You know what I mean? Like,
So,
there's no hard feelings. I don't feel no type of way. I'm not going to go around and bash
and
this
cry.
man and cry about it. But yeah, you could go to YouTube. It's Modern Polygyny on YouTube.
Right. So this is the end, right?
This is the end.
So I don't know if you guys noticed, we have a whole new setup. So we are on podcast now.
Yes.
So baby, since you take care of all that, tell them where we're at.
We're everywhere. Modern Polygyny everywhere.
Apple?
No, we're not on Apple yet, but we're about to be on Apple. We're on Spotify. We're on iHeart Radio. With Google Podcasts. We're a little bit of everywhere. There's not anywhere where there's podcasts. You could Amazon, I believe.
You can probably just type
Amazon
podcast.
Music.
You can probably type Modern Polygyny in your podcast app, and we'll pop up somewhere. Awesome. So yes, that's why the setup is a little bit different. Please forgive us. We're trying to work everything, and get everything, sorted out. But this is it. And this is the end of the video?
This is the end of the video. So if you see us on any of those streaming sites, just please leave a good review. If you're watching this on YouTube, please comment, subscribe, and like and share. And also share everywhere else. And we appreciate everybody tuning in.
And this podcast or this episode, we'll put the full episode on YouTube. But from this point forward, I'm not exactly sure if we're going to do half on YouTube and then do the other half on the podcast. So you might want to find us on a podcast so you can listen to the whole video.
We're going to do half on YouTube and we're going to do the full thing on the podcast.
All right. So find your podcast and subscribe to us so you guys can get all of our episodes. And thank you guys so much for watching or listening. We appreciate each and every one of you. We have modernpolygyny@gmail.com if you want to get in touch with us. We are on Instagram. We are on Facebook. And we have some other stuff in the works coming up soon. And we'll let you guys know as soon as that jumps off. But that is it for us. And we will see you guys in our next video.
Thank you.
Bye.
Peace.
She wanna know me, I stay low key, all gas, no brakes, baby, let them hoes sleep. Body on 10, make your girl OD. I get in my way, never out of my lane.